Hey, welcome to another episode of Camp and Camera. Today, everything changes. Hey, welcome back everyone. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. You know that in addition to showing some of our own camping trips and, doing video tours of other people's teardrops and their builds, I like to do the occasional product review. And that's what we're going to do today, but it's a little different. Normally a company will reach out to us and they'll say, hey, we've got a cool product that we think that your viewers would like. How about we send over a unit and you can test it and tell us what you think. I don't always go for it. I try to show some of the better things or some of the things that would be more in tune with what the viewers would want to see. But today I actually reached out to the company. This is a Jackery power unit. It's called a solar power generator. And I reached out to Jackery. And I did so because just like the rest of you, I watch YouTube videos too. I watch Primal Outdoors, Slim Potato Head. There's several that I watch. And some of these folks are using Jackery power units. And they're saying some really good things about them. And the more I thought about it, I thought, this would be a wonderful thing to try out for the Teardrop. So I reached out to Jackery, said, hey, I've got this channel called Camp and Camera. Would you be interested? And they said yes. So they sent over the 1,000 watt Jackery and two 100 watt solar panels that you can run either one at a time or run them in parallel. And we'll show you that later. But let's get into what this Jackery will do. So the Jackery is a very versatile unit. Inside this well-built plastic case, which has high quality fasteners on it. The fit and finish are very nice. But inside this case is a lithium DC battery, and you can pull that power directly out of that battery by a 12 volt 10 amp port. It's got a little cover that flips down. You've got two USB-C charge ports. You've got a 5 volt 2.4 amp port that comes out of it. And something that's new to me is a quick charge 3.0. Now if you want to run AC electricity, all you do is push this button and the power inverter kicks on, and now you've got three 110 AC electric outlets. So what do I plan on powering with it? What am I not going to power with it? This thing will do all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, on a recent camping trip in the Camp Easy Teardrop, I used it to make coffee. So let's really put the Jackery to the test. I have shore power where I can plug in this K-Cup coffee maker into these outlets over here, but I want to see if the Jackery can handle this. Now I looked at the bottom of this unit and it said it's rated at 1,000 watts, and the Jackery says it's rated at 1,000 watts. So let's see how it does. I've got it plugged in. I'm going to turn the AC on. Right now it's showing 86% battery life remaining. So let's turn this thing on and get some coffee brewing. I can hear the inverter fan kicking on, and it said it's using 850 watts right now. So we'll see how this does. And we have coffee. So let's go back over here to the display. It was running about 850 watts while it was heating the K-Cup coffee maker, and now that it's actually pouring, it shows it's running about 8 watts of power, and we're down to 81%. Okay, so the K-Cup brewer pump just turned off. It just pumped the coffee into the cup, and looking at the Jackery, it's down to 81%. And the power usage right now is at 6%. Well, it just went down to 1. It's teetering back and forth. That's probably just running the power inverter. So it used 5% total of the Jackery power to brew this coffee. I'm going to consider that a win. That's not much power at all. Oh yeah, nice hot cup of joe on a rainy morning. So on those days that we're boondocking and we don't have AC electrical hookup, I can run this little K-Cup coffee maker off the Jackery with no problems, and I'll use about 5% power. And now this one was rated as 1,000 watts. I'm sure they're all going to be different, so you want to check that. But this is a little $20 plastic one we picked up at Walmart, and it's a workhorse. We use it every day, and it does a really good job. And it tucks away nicely in the Teardrop and is lightweight. So for boondocking, looks like the Jackery will brew some Joe. You don't have to have just a percolator over a gas stove to make coffee with this Jackery. You can throw in a K-cup and you can be drinking fancy coffee out in the middle of the woods. I thought that was a pretty cool test. So one of the things I like to do with my camper is not just go to a campground, but take it somewhere where there's something going on, some kind of an event. And I really enjoy aviation events, especially model aviation. I enjoy flying model airplanes and helicopters, and today drones, and this is the way I can keep those things charged up. So listen, unless you've been living under a rock or in a cave the last few years, you know that most YouTube creators are going to use a drone to get some aerial footage when they're making a video. And I'm no exception. I happen to be running the DJI Mavic Air 2 drone. It's a good drone, but it's power hungry. Has a pretty good sized battery on it. It really lasts about 20 minutes. And even though I have 3 battery packs, I mean, when I've flown those out, I'm toast for the rest of the day. Well, not anymore. Now I can bring the Jackery along. I can recharge all 3 batteries, the remote controller, and the cell phone all at the same time. So I pretty much can fly indefinitely. As long as I've got a little sun to recharge the Jackery, I'm good to go. One of the things I love about the Jackery is its simplicity. You push the display. It shows you how much energy is going into the Jackery, how much is being put out, and the life remaining. That also comes on when you push the DC, and that's all you have to do to run DC is push the DC button or AC. You hear the inverter kick on just for a second and then go back into an idle state. But it's a nice clean design, not too much information, but the information that's there is very useful. So we talked about what kind of power you can get out of the Jackery, but how do you put power back in? Well, it comes with a multitude of ways. This little pouch came with the unit, has a 110 AC plug-in adapter. Plug this into the wall in the house before you leave, and the other end of this port plugs right in here to the top of the Jackery, and it'll charge it back up. Or it has a 12-volt outlet on here, so you can plug this into the cigarette lighter on a vehicle, I guess, and plug it into that same port. And the third way is you can recharge it by solar. So now this is where portable solar really shines. If you've watched my previous episodes, you know I've got 100 watts of solar on top of my Camp Easy Teardrop. And although I like it and I would put it on there all, if I had to do all over again, those panels are pretty much pointing straight up. So in the midday they're okay, but in the late evening or early morning they're not getting a whole lot of sunlight. Well, these portable solar panels, if you notice, they come with little legs on the back, and I can point these things off to the side. Like right now we're only about 2 hours from sunset, and I'm still able to soak in those late evening rays, and I can turn them around in the morning and I can catch the sunrise. And if I need to in the middle of the day, I can just always kick the legs in and I can put them where they're pointing straight up. Now, for those of you who have researched solar, you know that whatever a solar panel is rated is usually not what you're going to get out of them. They're going to have to be under optimal conditions. You know, the sun just blazing down on them, probably no haze in the sky, everything working just right to get exactly the rated wattage. And if you notice on my Camp Easy Teardrop, when I did videos of that, I had 100 watts total, and I would only ever get about 80 in optimal conditions. So that's just how solar panels are. Even in the late evening sun, I just checked the front of the Jackery, I'm putting in about 120 watts. And that's with the sun at a low angle. There's a little bit of haze in the sky. And this is just great. I mean, I'm able to soak in those late evening rays. Imagine if I was trying to do this with my camper with the solar panels going straight up. I would not get anywhere near that. So this particular package came with 2 100-watt solar panels, and those feed into a parallel port adapter, which comes with a kit. And that in turn plugs into the Jackery. This thing goes together real quick and could not be more simple. So let's talk about the portability. When it comes time to travel, you literally just grab each side of it, you fold it up, and if you can hear it or not, it clicks into place. There's magnets to hold it closed. Now this is one of the legs on the back. It just pushes in and it velcros shut. The leg on the other side does the same. And the cord literally just rolls up, goes in this integrated pouch, and it zippers closed. And let's do the pinky finger test on it. This thing is so light, I literally can lift it with one pinky finger and carry it around. So yeah, I would say this is very portable. So to make sure I don't forget anything at home, I'm just going to leave the parallel adapter hooked into one of the panels and roll this dude up. Stuff it in the pouch. Oh, and by the way, this pouch has this little box that's made into the solar panel, and it has a USB-C and a USB outlet on it for charging electronics. The Jackery itself is very portable. Now, I'm not going to do a pinky test with it. It does have a lithium battery in there. There's some weight, but I can lift it with 2 fingers. I don't think I'd want to carry it around with 2 fingers, but it's very light. Now, I could show the specs on the screen what it actually weighs, but I'm just going to take a shot in the dark and say it weighs about 15 pounds. I'll put on the screen what the actual weight is, but this thing is a very small profile. So you stack both these panels on top of each other, put the Jackery beside of it, you could tuck that away anywhere. So the thought just occurred to me, you have 12 volt on this thing, you've got USB-C, you've got regular USB, you've got 110, or what some people call it 120 AC electricity, the 2 solar panels. If you're building a teardrop and you're pretty comfortable with doing the carpentry work on a teardrop, but the electrical portion just scares you to death, I'm almost thinking you could just buy one of these Jackeries and a solar panel and not even have to worry about it. Now, I would suggest putting the electrical in there if you can do it, but if you're somebody that's just super intimidated by that, you might just get by with doing something like a Jackery. So listen, when you put 1,000 watts of lithium battery in a box and put multiple ways to pull that power out and multiple ways to replenish that power, it does come at a price. But Jackery reached out and said, hey, we're running a 3-day sale called Jackery Explorer Week. It runs May 17th through the 19th, and you can get like 15% off your gear site-wide. So I'll put a link to that in the description below. You don't want to miss that. And while you're on the site, check out, they're doing a giveaway for like $4,000 worth of free gear. So also on a recent camping trip, I used the Jackery to power some lights underneath our canopy tent for a group get-together. So we set the Jackery on the little ledge here at the campsite, and we run 2 of these USB powered bulbs underneath our 10 by 10 canopy tent, and this is putting out way more light than we expected that it would. And what I did is I found these little lights on Amazon. I've never seen them before. They're just like a little bulb. They have a hook where you can hang them off of something, and they plug into a USB outlet. Well, this Jackery is full of USB outlets, so I bought 2 of these things. I think they were like $9 or $10 a piece. I'll try to put a link to that in the description below. But here's one I've got unraveled. Let me just show you how this thing works. You basically just plug it into the USB. You turn the 12 volt DC button on, and check it out, you've got light. This particular one happens to have a switch on it, but you would not believe the amount of light these things put out underneath that white canopy tent. Can you see that? Can you see it? Huh? I don't know if it shows up in the daytime or not. So let's get a little crazy. We realized on a recent camping trip that we like to have a portable ice maker with us just to have something to put in our drinks. Let's see if this dude will run a portable ice maker. Now, I don't need any ice. I just want to see what will happen. So I'm going to pour the water in this ice maker, or pour it out of it. Close this thing down. Now I'm going to turn the Jackery on. I heard the fan kick on and then kick right back off because it's not under load. And it looks like it's running about 8 watts of electricity. Now I see the ice maker is pumping the water into the cooling fingers. Still running about 6 to 8 watts of power. Here in a minute, the compressor should kick on, and then we'll really know what it's going to do. So I don't know if you can hear it, but the compressor is running on the ice maker. It's cooling the little cooling fingers off to freeze the water. And the Jackery is only running 83 watts. That's nowhere near as much as I expected. So while we're waiting on the water to freeze into ice, let's go over a few things from the manufacturer to let you know a little bit more about what the unit will do. So how crazy is that? We just used the Jackery on the tailgate of a pickup truck to make some ice to cool a drink down with. Now it ran about 80-ish watts the whole time until it kicked the ice out into the tray, and I think it went momentarily up to about 120 watts just for a few seconds, and now it's back cooling and we're running the mid 80s again. This is awesome. So those of you who have watched the channel before, especially product reviews, I hope you know that I'm as open and as honest as I can possibly be about the products that I'm showing you. I owe that to you as a viewer, and I want to see honesty whenever I'm watching a YouTube video. I'm being straight with you. Even though I reached out to Jackery and asked for them to send over something to review, which is a little different, I love this thing. Matter of fact, I can't imagine not taking it on any camping trip that I go on from here on out. Even in my big camper, a lot of times when I'm traveling 10, 12 hours to a destination, in my big camper, I've got a 23-foot Rockwood. I'll stop in a Walmart parking lot during the night and boondock, you know, at a halfway point. And like a lot of folks, I wear a CPAP. I have sleep apnea and I wear a CPAP when I sleep. I'm going to use this to run that off of, so I won't have to worry about depleting the camper battery when I'm in the parking lot. So, hey, if you liked today's episode, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Life goes on. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Leave me a comment either way, what you liked, what you didn't. And if you want to come back, subscribe. So, until next time, take care. We'll see you on the road.